go. Welcome to the show. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in today. Really good to be with you indeed. We love to do this show. Telling you. Nothing else I would rather do. This job. And it's been like that for 12 years. Honestly. And when you have good people, too, that are with you. You know, Stephen has been with me for 12 years. Gary's been with me a year. It feels like 12. No, I'm just kidding. No. Gary, since Gary's come along, we've really elevated the show in many different ways. Technologically, Let's Talk Nutrition is Health Talk Radio for the 21st century. We're terrestrial radio. That's our DNA. That's in our DNA. And we're close to 60 markets across the U.S., coast to coast, including Hawaii. The radio affiliates are wonderful people. They air the show. They don't pester. They don't bother. Really. It's wonderful. And then we stream. And we stream daily. And up onto 3 platforms. We have a company that loads the show up onto Facebook, YouTube, and our website. That's talknutrition.com. And we get 30, are we still averaging 30,000 hits a day, Gary?
Yes, about that.
And the company that we hired to do that can tell us where people click the button to watch and how many. And so my best recollection is we have appeared on 5 continents so far. Where was it the other day you saw us when you went to check? You told me we had never been there before. Where was that?
It was in Africa. It was one of the countries in Africa. And it was interesting because we were talking about a subject that I didn't think that anybody in that region was talking about. I'll have to go look and see if I can see it in the last 30 days.
So we track it. And then if you decide to call in, we don't care where you are. We'll take your call, always. And we can do better than that, too. If you're inclined, we can stream you as well. All you need is a computer with a camera and be connected to Wi-Fi. Gary can get you up onto the TV stream. I call it TV. Is that wrong to call it TV?
No, because you can watch this on TV. I mean, we're watching it. We watch it in the studio. I don't know if people understand that.
We have big, what are these things called?
Monitors.
Monitors. We have 3 of them across the room here. And I'm on one of them right now. So it's TV to me, but we can put you on TV. Now, people have communication apprehension and may not be inclined to want to do that. I get it. They're even shy to call in. It's a listener-friendly show, a viewer-friendly show. So it is Health Talk Radio for the 21st century because of the technology, but also for other reasons as well. It's evidence-based. We talk about the science. It's evidence-based nutrition, evidence-based medicine. It's evidence-based. And we rely on the audience is first and foremost. It's always about you. And speaking of that, tomorrow I will be appearing in Largo, Florida. Pretty nice there. From 12 to 2, there's a health store on West Bay Drive called Vitamin Discount Center. And I'm going to be appearing there. I usually go, we schedule it for 2. It could end up being longer. That often happens. So as soon as we get off the air, Gary and I will scoot over. It'll take us about an hour to get there from here. And I'll be there. It's a what is it?
A meet and greet.
It's a meet and greet. And I love doing it. This will be my first appearance, public appearance beyond the show on the air since last year when I got sick. October 19th was my anniversary a year ago when I was diagnosed. So we're grateful, and I want to be able to see people eye to eye, we call it in communication dyadic, face to face. Love that. And thank you for supporting the show, supporting me, being kind and generous with your sentiments. I had a manager at a vitamin discount center store call me yesterday. I'm on a vitamin C protocol right now. I'm following Linus Pauling's protocol as part of my recovery. I'm doing lysine and vitamin C together. I'm also adding proline, and I'm doing at least 10 grams a day. I mentioned it, and so there was a customer that went into the store, and the manager of the store, Sophia, called me, and the customer wanted to know what the product was. I'm using Dr. Rath's formula. He has lysine and C together, then I have to buy the proline separate. The customer said to Sophia, Gary, that she knew that I had been diagnosed with cancer, and when she found out, Sophia told me that the woman wept, cried. I've never met the woman, as far as I know. I mean,
it's touching.
It's humbling. It's humbling. I mean, people feel that much for you. I mean, come on. How could you not want to thank people? And so tomorrow we'll be there. And I invite you to please stop by. We'll have prizes and giveaways. But it's the conversation and meeting you that excites me. And I'd be very proud and privileged to have an opportunity to say hello to you. You have a phone number for the store and the exact address?
Yeah, I do. If you want to call the store, it's 727-588-9444. Ask for Jason. He's the manager over there.
He's a handsome young man.
And the address is 301 West Bay Drive, Largo, Florida, 33770. There's plenty of parking. You ain't got to worry about parking.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
a nice store. Jason, I've been in his store before. I've done health fairs there. Beautiful store.
We're going to have several vendors.
Good.
We've got a couple of vendors that are going to be there, and then we're going to do a prize wheel. And
good.
I mean, we're going to make a day out of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's at lunchtime, too. So, maybe you can learn a couple tricks like I learned about, might want to miss lunch for something else. So
whatever. It's all good. And doing good for others. This leads me to something I'd like to share with you, because it is part of health. And as I was perusing this morning the different resources that I use, databases and whatnot, for the show, I came across a New York Times article. The headline on it was, "Why Doing Good is Good for the Do-Gooder." Right? And the giving credit to Nicole Carlos was the author of the article, the writer. Attribution. We do attribution around here. No plagiarizing. Whoever wrote whatever, I always recognize them. I told my students, never plagiarize. Don't do that. And in the article, the writer points out several things that are pertinent to you and to me, and how we respond and how others respond to situations where people need help. And over the past several months, we certainly have seen our share of disasters, haven't we? Harvey, hurricanes, Harvey, that just devastated Houston. Then you had Irma and Maria that made their way through the Caribbean. How about the wildfires in Northern California? My goodness. So much disaster. But you know what? It also brings out the good in people. I want to share this with you. I'll be right back.
If you've ever had digestive issues slow you...
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day, giving you immune, energy, and stress support, and nutrients for bone and heart health. You will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce.
To Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. I'll be, again, in Largo, Florida tomorrow at the Vitamin Discount Center store on West Bay Drive from 12 to 2. Please stop by. Here's how you can get in touch with the show and join in the conversation. Connect.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition. That's all one word put together, no spaces. And at LTN Radio, because we talk back. Okay, so I didn't know this, but did you know that there's other radio programs that have hired a company that are not even with the people
With the show.
that respond back to their social media?
Wow. We
do it ourselves.
We
I mean,
do
I
we
do it
do
right
we
here.
do our own cooking. We don't have we are the cook, bottle washer, and housekeeper for the show. We do it all.
I mean,
Okay. You know, I'd like to be big enough, be so big that we couldn't answer the mail. Okay, that's a nice problem to have. Maybe you need to hire, but we would hire somebody, not a company. We would bring somebody into the company.
I just thought that was very interesting.
Well, you know, people are busy, I guess. Volunteering. Well, this article in the New York Times that I just started to report on really gets at how important volunteering is. This article in the New York Times, why doing good is good for the do-gooder, and giving attribution again to the writer of the article, Nicole Carlos. And Nicole points out in the article that it's important to help people in times of disaster. For obvious reasons, right? We didn't need an article in the New York Times to tell us that. But that being said, she also points out, and she quotes a Dr. Kawachi, professor of social epidemiology at Harvard. Research suggests that these community social connections are as important for resilience to disaster as physical material like disaster kits or medical supplies. Volunteerism, Dr. Kawachi points out, is good for the health of people who receive social support, but also good for the health of people who offer their help, close quote. And there is research to show that when you volunteer, when you help others, when the survival of others is threatened, and you reach out and put yourself maybe even at risk to help somebody else, that's very emotional indeed, not only for the recipient of your wonderful gesture, but for you as well. And all of those emotions, it's pointed out in the article by Dr. Christine Carter, is what connects us. That emotional connection to others. And there is evidence. I looked at it. I said this is an evidence-based show. That's what makes it Health Talk Radio for the 21st century. That shows clearly that an act of generosity, kindness, empathy is beneficial for the person offering it. It can lower, are you ready? Blood pressure and decrease mortality rates. I kid you not. There's an article that was published in Health Psychology 2012. Title, Motives for Volunteering are Associated with Mortality Risk in Older Adults, meaning that it lowers it. Unbelievable. In the study, they looked at the effects of motives for volunteering on respondents' mortality risk 4 years later. Respondents in the study who volunteered were at a lower risk for mortality 4 years subsequent to their act of kindness, especially those who volunteered more regularly and frequently. So the more you do it, the better it is not only for the people for whom you're doing it, but the better it is for you. They did have a conjunctive adverb, however. Volunteering behavior was not always beneficially related to mortality risk. Those who volunteered for self-oriented reasons had a mortality risk similar to non-volunteers. In other words, if you're just doing it to feather your own nest, you can run around the planet and tell people, I'm a good person, I volunteer, blah, blah. No. That's inauthentic, not genuine, and it does not, and, nature's funny. It doesn't confer a health benefit. You've met people like that, Gary. You've been in this business long enough, in the radio business, in the media business. All this faking of caring.
Yeah.
No names. Don't mention any names. I see that look on your face. Don't say it. I don't want to get sued.
Well, you had Dale, every year finds a family.
Detective Fritz.
Detective Fritz finds a family, and his squad puts together a Christmas for him.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
We're going to get Detective Fritz back onto the show. I want to tell you why. Detective Fritz will not eat vegetables even when his own service revolver is pointed at him. Or fruit. Maybe a couple things.
Bananas.
That's it. We got to get him. We have, what do they call it when they rescue people and they grab
Intervention.
them? Intervention. Throw them in the van and break them from the cult. That's what we have to do with Detective Fritz. We'll be back.
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
others. Not only good for the people that are recipients of the goodness, but it's also good for those who offer it. Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. And this very interesting study that I just reported on, you can't make it up. The study showed that volunteering improved the mortality risk of people 4 years out from the time they offered the act of kindness and generosity. And the more they did it, the more of a health benefit it conferred. But if they did it out of self-interest and not in the interest of the other, genuinely, it didn't have any health benefit. How do you like that? So take that for not being sincere. How do you like them potatoes? You can't make that up. You know, and some people do that. It's like it's sort of this. It's a form of marketing yourself or your organization. You know, we do good for others, and you're just doing it to look good instead of really trying to do the good. So doing service for others is the rent we pay to be on this earth. My guest is Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue. She's an educator for natural factors, and she's a naturopathic physician, and they're in British Columbia in Canada. Dr. Kate, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. How are you today? And it's probably pretty early where you are.
Thank you so much. Good to be back. Not too bad. We're in the same time zone today. I'm in the Eastern home office here, closer to Toronto. So,
okay, good.
Yeah, it's reasonable hour.
Right. You didn't have to get up before the rooster.
Exactly.
Volunteering. What do you think about that?
You know what? Some of my best memories, literally best life experiences have been volunteering. I was fortunate enough for a period to be able to volunteer with homeless at a homeless program. And to this day, I miss it. I wish I was in a place and at a time in my life where I could still do that. It changed me in ways that I wouldn't have expected.
How?
Oh, gosh, it's almost hard to put your finger on. And there's obviously...
Well, what was the feeling?
It was so humbling to be of service to these people who really have so little, as well as seeing them as people and realizing that we have more in common than we do have different. And it certainly also made me, above all, it made me so grateful for what I have in my life that's, I think, really what changed me. And I enjoyed the process, the experience, the meeting of the people. I really looked forward to it and miss it, and I know that I will get back there someday.
This study that I'm reporting on, it appeared in the journal, I give it to you, Health Psychology. It was not just doing good for others, but what was the motive? That's what they looked at. And what they said, and I'm going to quote the conclusion of the study. Quote, "This study adds to the existing literature on the powerful effects of social interactions on health and is the first study, to our knowledge, to examine the effect of motives on volunteers' subsequent mortality. Volunteers live longer than non-volunteers, but this is only true if they volunteer for other-oriented reasons," close quote. Boy, what do you make of that?
That makes me smile. I find it absolutely fascinating, and it's interesting because anybody who's done any kind of volunteer work will know that there's almost always somebody there who's there because they're looking to put something on their resume, and they're going into it with a very different approach. Now, the fact that they would be, having a different experience, but the fact that it would affect their health is, mind-blowing. But for sure, there is a ton of research to show social interactions and volunteering in particular, and has an effect on a beneficial, generally, effect on health.
You went to the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine, correct?
That's right.
All right. That's a real medical school and
Yes, it is.
certified by the government and whatnot. It's not some fake, online nonsense.
One of only 2 accredited schools for naturopathic medicine in Canada, and there are, I believe, 4 in the States, or maybe 6.
4.
I could be wrong.
4 or
4.
6.
That's what I thought. Yep.
Yeah. And let me ask you this without mentioning any names. Did you run across some of your classmates and colleagues who had no empathy?
Occasionally, you do see those. Yeah, once in a while, it's
What are they
disturbing.
doing in that profession?
I never understood. I could never find the answer to that question. It's not common, but once every class or 2, you will find somebody like that. And it was a boggle. It was a mind just boggling to me. I don't know.
Do you find that when doctors, naturopathic, allopathic, or any other kind of pathic, are in the trench day in and day out, that over time they run the risk of becoming less empathetic and cynical?
Mm-hmm. Anybody, and any physician, anybody in a caring profession of any kind can run the risk of burnout. And there's a lot of awareness now around physician burnout because it's a serious problem. And when that happens, you really do have to stop what you're doing and step back, because you're of no help really, or very little help to anyone in that mindset when you're in that place.
Yeah. The nurses really impress me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are really in the trench, and so are the doctors too. But nurses, nurses are doing many things that the doctors don't do, and wouldn't want to do and won't do. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I bowed down to the nurses, and I can tell you that nurses make really tough patients because they are generally, by the time they come in to seek help for themselves, are so depleted that it can be really, really challenging to help them because they've been so busy helping everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Health, wellness, and well-being. Those are different concepts. They cover different dimensions of this whole idea of, trying to live a long life with quality of life. I see health and wellness as processes that lead to well-being. Well-being is how you move through the world, your state of being, how you feel. And health is different from wellness for me. They implicate different dimensions. We've talked about that on the show. So this idea of volunteering gets at the notion of wellness. It makes it lowers your blood pressure. It makes you live a little longer, provided you have the right motive, that you're really doing it for the other.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue is my guest today, and Dr. Kate is a regular on the show. She's turning out to be a fave because I always get an authentic answer from her. Listen, I've been doing this a long time. I know when I'm jazzed, when somebody's jazzing me, and I know when it person means it. You just know. The audience knows too. It's amazing. People will come to me, they'll see me off air, and you know that guest you had on the other day? Yeah, and they'll say either good things or bad things, and you think that, yeah, boy, they're perceptive. But Dr. Kate is, yeah, she'll tell you. She's a straight, as I said not long ago, straight shooter. Dr. Kate, welcome back. What did you want to cook for dinner today? Mm-hmm. I cook around here all the time. What are you cooking today?
What am I cooking today? Let's see what's in the fridge. Some Brussels sprouts. Gonna roast those up. Some salmon.
What's on the menu? Metaphorically speaking, what do you have on the menu for us today?
Well, related foods and how we can help get the benefits of superfoods like Brussels sprouts and salmon and these kinds of things if we don't have time to do the cooking. Nutrients that are available not, say, in a naked isolation, but in whole forms, such as the whole earth and sea line of products that we've spoken a little bit about in the past in the farms up in Kelowna in the Okanagan Valley of British Columbia, as well as the hand harvesting, the processing, the testing that goes behind these to make multivitamins as well as other health-enhancing formulas that go really above and beyond. It's an evolution to new ways of attaining these nutrients and improving our nutrition.
It took the natural products industry and dietary supplements, supplement companies specifically, to figure out over these many decades how to make dietary supplements that were not just extract in nature, extract forms, if you will, but to have the whole food captured somehow in a bottle or a bag or some way. It took a while, didn't it?
It did, and there is something to be said, and you can still get some benefit. Early research done on just standard forms of vitamins and minerals, that is there, and yet we know instinctively as well as through clinical experience, for example, that people derive greater benefit from slightly different forms of these nutrients, for example, more active forms that come combined with cofactors that help with either absorption or utilization. It's much more complex than the old multi that we might have had one a day, bright orange thing sitting on our tables when we were growing up. So really it has come a long way. There's been a big evolution in the technology and biotechnology to be able to get to this place.
Mm-hmm. The Natural Factors is a privately owned company, is it not?
Mm-hmm. Family-owned company.
Family-owned. And Roland is, I just give his first name, but I know Roland, and you know him as well.
That's right.
Roland has a reputation of doing things the right way and being, I've been accused of this as well, being particular.
Very particular.
Very
absolutely.
particular.
Exacting control, for quality control that literally starts at the seed. It's a seed-to-shelf concept, which is why so many of the ingredients that are in the whole earth and sea products are grown on the organic farms in British Columbia, specifically to control the quality of what's being grown.
This idea of creating a dietary supplement product that is constituted of whole food didn't come to Roland and then one day and then the next day it happened. And I've been up there and I was with him and he showed me and several other people and talked about the narrative. He shared the narrative of how long it took from the idea he had to actually building the plant, the facility, state of the art, and getting it out there into the marketplace. It took a while. It was a formidable task.
That's right. As a matter of fact, the Whole Earth and Sea line was, you could say, for some people perceived as a little bit late to the party of the whole food-based supplements. There were other brands that were first to market, for example, and rather than rushing in there to try to compete in that way, yes, the whole line was conceived very carefully, deliberately, watching what was being done with other products, where they were succeeding, where they weren't achieving the goals that they wanted to, and exactly taking time to develop the right.
Took years.
Yes, it took years.
Took years. I would like the listener and the viewer of the show to know this. This is the backstory. I know on other health talk shows they won't do this. They won't take the time. I think it's important information for the audience to have. Each person, you should know what you're putting into your body, and I'm trying to help with that. This Whole Earth and Seed line. I don't know how many SKUs are in that line right now. Do you happen to know off the top of your head?
About a dozen at this point.
Okay, a dozen. Yeah. In the dietary supplement industry, that's not a lot, but it's a dozen that count. Every product in that line counts, and it takes time to develop it. And what you find is that knowing this should bring you some comfort, and know that you're going to get a special effect from it, and that is you're getting a whole food effect. That's the point, right, Dr. Kate?
That's exactly right, and I appreciate you mentioning there's so much going on behind the label that is you can't necessarily tell from that, and it is important, and it affects the quality of the product, so it makes it different.
Mm-hmm. We're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue into the second portion of the show, and Natural Factors products are sold in North America, clearly, and around the world. And if they're not carrying it in your local health store, you should ask them to do that. And go to naturalfactors.com, and that you can learn more about the line. There are a couple of the products. I use their vitamin D. I use their multi, and several other products out of that line. Very good. Great products. And you need to watch this space. We'll talk more about it. You are listening to Let's Talk Nutrition. We're coast to coast, and we're global. And we like that because we're trying to connect. We're trying to connect you to us and us to you, and you to your health. Your health. That is your wealth indeed. That lady gets it right every day. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. My guest is Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue, and she's a naturopathic physician. Been doing this a while, knows what she's doing, and talking about whole foods as found in dietary supplements from natural factors. A whole food is a food that has been processed or refined as little as possible and is free from additives or any artificial ingredient or substance. Processing is misunderstood. When you wash green leafy vegetables, for example, and then put them in a bag and sell it, it's been processed. Anytime you alter in any way, shape, or manner, or do something to the food, it's processing. Now, there's processing and then there's processing. I often use the analogy of clear cut. You know, when they build these housing developments, they'll go in and they'll clear cut the trees, build the houses, and then go back in and replant the trees. We do that with food. We clear cut, especially with cereals, with grains. We'll clear cut the bran and the whatnot out of it, and then have to go back in and fortify it with B vitamins and whatever else. And then, you know, doesn't make much sense, does it? And then they can process food such that, or supplements too, to preserve them. Fermentation is processing. When you ferment food, that's processing. You get the bacteria to do it. But that's good processing. So you have to be careful. When you can't, you know, sometimes processing is used in a pejorative way, and it's used in a general, universal kind of way that all processing is bad. Sometimes you need to process the food. You'd be better. Some people are of the mind, for example, oh, I eat organic, and I don't even wash my vegetables or fruit.
What?
And I said, well, why do you do that? Because, you know, it's organic. You don't need to. And I don't want it. And no. You have to wash them. Just because organic doesn't confer protection from bacteria on the crop, you know, it's in the ground or whatever. By the way, they do use fertilizers and certain chemicals on organically grown food. They're organic, but they're still chemicals. That's a little dirty secret that's not talked about very much. Maybe someday we'll devote some time to that. So this is all by way of trying to set up a conversation with Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue. We're talking about whole foods, whole food supplements. Natural Factors has a line of dietary supplements. It's called the Whole Earth and Sea line. From the earth and from the sea. So you think, oh, from the sea, it must be what? Omega-3s? What are we talking about? What we'll find out. This is different, and Dr. Kate may explain how it's different from maybe what you've been buying many, many years, these extracts, where certain compounds are extracted in some form or fashion with some technique or processing technique from the food, put into a capsule, made into a liquid, made into a powder, or whatever. Some argue that that's not necessarily a good idea because you're taking the extract, that compound, out of context. Well, yes and no. We've gotten a lot of benefit from extracts. And you don't want to just pitch that out the window. And these are not necessarily mutually exclusive in terms of taking them together. That is, a whole food-based supplement as well as extracts. Natural Factors makes its share of extracts as well, types of supplements. Whole food. And then you have things like a plant-based, whole food plant-based diet. And whole food is used in a lot of different ways here. Eating a steak is a whole food. Red meat. But I'm not a meat eater, so that's off the menu for me. A whole food diet. Then you have the raw foodists. These are very strict individuals with their food. Not only is the food whole, but it has to be raw. No cooking. That's not, that's not necessarily a good idea either for some foods. Some cruciferous vegetables do need to be cooked. As a matter of fact, cooking is processing, and when you cook certain foods, it potentiates the chemicals in them. They perform better, and they're better absorbed. So you got to be careful with these blanket statements, but we're going to talk about whole food supplements. Then you have whole food plant-based supplements, right? Dr. Kate, welcome back. Does the Natural Factors refer to the whole earth and sea line as whole food plant-based or no?
They do. And you know what? Your introduction touched on so many different and important points when it comes to this category of supplements, because it's one around which I find there's a lot of misinformation or misunderstanding. And, your first point about processing, you're right. There's good processing and bad processing. And some processing makes nutrients more available, like cooking. You mentioned, first of all, cruciferous vegetables that neutralizes harmful compounds, and as you said, potentiates some others. For example, tomatoes. Everybody's heard that tomatoes contain lycopene, which is really important for prostate health in particular, but other aspects of health. It's a great antioxidant. But you can't get lycopene from raw tomatoes. You could eat raw tomatoes all day long, and you really wouldn't get any lycopene. They have to be cooked in order to get that. So, in fact, there are absolutely some advantages to processing, as we could say, a cooking or concentrating, and sometimes a concentrate is what you want, and sometimes an extract is what you want. It really varies per nutrient, and you're right, the Whole Earth and Sea line balances, it contains a whole food concentrate, but it's complemented with extracts of certain nutrients like iodine from kelp, for example, or selenium from spirulina, to add that into the formula in the ratios that we would want for different products.
What does the term U.S. pharmacopoeia mean?
Oh, okay. So this refers to, and it's most commonly used to refer to a standard by which vitamins and minerals are compared and a process by which they are produced. And I'm really glad you brought this up, because for some reason, U.S. Pharmacopoeia, or USP as they're called, nutrients, have got some sort of a bad rap. That
yes, they have.
Not useful or old school or harmful or synthetic, in fact, I think is the concept here. But when we say synthetic vitamins, we don't mean that they're being produced from, petrochemicals or, conjured up in a laboratory. Typically, these nutrients are produced by bacteria. In the lab, they have bacteria that if you, speak nicely to them and treat them right and feed them what they like, they will give you B12 or any of the B vitamins or almost any nutrient. There's tons of nutrients produced by bacteria. And so these are, in fact, quite naturally produced through fermentation, you could absolutely say. And so this whole concept of USP nutrients being synthetic or harmful or bad in some way is bunk, frankly. And people are constantly bad-mouthing these nutrients, and that's just not the case.
Okay.
Now,
we come back, we'll expand and elaborate even further. Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue, coast to coast and globally.
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
There you go. Hi. Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. If you're watching the show, you caught me without my headset or whatnot. We do stream, you know. So, Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue is my guest, and we're talking about Natural Factors Whole Earth and Sea Line. It's a whole food, plant-based dietary supplement, if you will, supplements, a line of them. There's about a dozen in the line. It's been out not long, couple of years or so, 2 or 3 years, and it was a long time in the making. And we were distinguishing between extracts, supplements that are extracts, and whole foods, whole food-based supplements. And then I brought up the issue of USP. Does USP apply to the whole Earth and Sea line?
Some of the nutrients in the whole earth, the minerals in particular, are qualified under USP. Some of the other minerals are food extracted. Some start with USP nutrients, then are processed with enzymes to convert them into active forms, which is fascinating because these are active forms that we don't normally find in foods, that our body has to make this conversion for us. But if your enzymes in your body aren't working efficiently to do that, then you're in fact not able to get the most of the nutrients from your foods. So there's a big advantage, in fact, to having them in those forms. And then there's also, food base as well as the food concentrate to complement that. So it's sort of the best of both worlds.
Good.
Because it depends on the individual nutrient, really what the best source is at this point.
Do you use any of the supplements in that line personally?
Oh, for sure, yes.
Which ones do you use?
The women's multivitamin and mineral formula, the vegan vitamin D, the super mushroom right now I'm using to stay healthy, make sure I don't come down with cold and flu this wintertime. I use several of them, actually.
Uh-huh. The consumer will pick up a bottle of one of those products or a box or a package, whatever, and they'll look and they'll notice that the amounts per serving are very small in amount compared to like an extract-based supplement, totally extract. Mm-hmm. Instead of hundreds of milligrams, you may have 12 of something, 12 milligrams. They're saying, wait a minute, my vitamin B that I take has, and they look and they see, this has a whole lot less, and so it must not work. That's sort of hard to get past for some people. Explain why one should not think that the company was chintzing on the ingredients because they're lower in their concentration in terms of amount. Explain.
Right.
Yeah.
They're lower than some, super concentrated supplements that are entirely, I guess you could say, artificial, that you're looking at, 50 or 100 milligrams of the B vitamins, this kind of thing. But then on the other end of the spectrum, there are entirely food-based supplements, and the concentration of the nutrients are so low, like we're looking at 1 milligram of each or half a milligram or micrograms of each nutrient, to the point that you really should be wondering why you're paying for that. But the whole earth and sea, I really like that it falls into, I would say, a sweet spot in there, in that you're looking at concentrations of the nutrients that are worthwhile paying for. You can feel good about spending your $30 a month on your multi or something like that. So in the 10, 12, it really depends on the nutrient, 25 milligram range, something like that. And that is because it's coming from a balance of either bioactive forms or a combination of what's found in the food concentrate, as well as topped up, because for different formulas, whether it's men or women, you want different levels of nutrients.
So you can, we're going to take a call here in about 10 seconds, but think about how much food is processed, how many pounds is processed into one multivitamin pill from that whole earth and sea line. The listener of you will be surprised. Let's go to, I believe he's from Clarksville, Georgia, if my memory serves me correctly, and his name is Rufino Pato, and in Spanish, Pato means duck. And Rufino, and the other day I referred to him by his last name, using it as a first name, and he got confused. Rufino, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you on.
Good. How you doing, Doctor?
I'm doing fine. And you have a nice health store there called A to Zinc. And do you carry natural factors in that store?
Well, I do. You know the reason I do carry natural factors, right? It's because of you.
I know. I know. I introduced you. They're good, aren't they?
Oh my God, I get very enthusiastic about natural factors, and I'm not just calling in because you got a guest on about it. But these whole earth and sea vitamins are incredible, and I hate to even call them a vitamin because they're minerals. They're more than a vitamin. They've got dandelion. They got organic vegetables. I mean, who does this in their vitamins? This is an incredible product, and people are like, I've never tried it. I tell you what, I guarantee this. You take some. Tell me how you're feeling in the morning. Tell me how your energy is. I back this stuff up 100%. I personally take them, and these are just what they put in these. Is immune support and everything else. This isn't just your A's, your B's, your C's, doc. This is a all-around great wellness supplement.
That's well put. I'm rifling through one big. I got more bags than I got sense, brother. I'm rifling through my big bag to find the smaller black bag, and then in that bag I have smaller bags, and in that smaller bag I have a whole I have a multi from the whole Earth and Sea line. I'm going to hold it up when we come back from break. Dr. Kate's going to tell you how many pounds of food are found in this one little tablet that I have. During the break, I'll get it out of my black bag and show you on air. It's pretty remarkable. Rufino, don't hang up. I want to. By the way, can we get you on a camera and show that product in your store? We'll see if we can do that.
Are you suffering?
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, whatever you may be doing. Like you may be in Clarksville, Georgia, like Rufino Pato, or you could be Dr. Kate Rheaume-Bleue, and she's somewhere up there out west to the north, and yeah, wherever on the planet. We can get you on the air by phone, and we can get you on the TV, too. We'd love doing it. Dr. Kate, welcome back. So Rufino's a health store owner in Clarksville, carries Natural Factor. You heard him yourself. We're trying to make contact with somebody else, another health store, too. Don't hang up, Rufino. Dr. Kate, I'm holding up one of, so small, one of the tablets. It's the men's 50-plus multi.
Mm-hmm.
How many pounds of food does it take to make this tablet?
There is roughly a quarter pound of fresh, raw, organic food that ultimately goes into the 300 milligrams of whole food concentrate in that one tablet. So if you're taking the 2 tablets a day, that's the recommended dose for the men's multi and the other multis, you're getting the equivalent of about half a pound of these fresh, raw superfoods. That's a concentrate of 49 different land and sea vegetables.
All right, there you go. And I'm looking for the other one. There's one of my supplement packets. I have another one in this packet. So if I take 2, I'm getting equivalent to about a half a pound.
That's right.
That's pretty good, no?
It's pretty impressive for those tiny little tablets.
I know. Rufino, how long have you had that line, that whole Earth and Sea line in your store?
Well, I want to say it's been, I think, around 3 or 4, maybe 5 months now since you and I, maybe longer than that, probably about 6 months, since you and I talked that day, and Hal came here from Natural Factors and hooked us up, and we just tried the products and fell in love with them because they're not a basic vitamin. These are a basic multivitamin. I have a lot of whole food vitamins in this store, don't get me wrong, but this one here, you know, you got the kale, and you've got the gooseberry, and you've got organic cranberry, and you got for your blood and your blood pressure, and I mean, like I said, who does that in a vitamin? And this vitamin is just incredible. So they have gone over the top as far as what they put in here for what you're buying, and so this is my number one vitamin I do in the store now.
What comes from the sea, Dr. Kate?
I was just about to say.
I know, I can read your mind.
The sea vegetables, and this is one thing I think that, especially in North America, we're really lacking in our diets, but organic chlorella, red and blue-green algae, kelp, there's spirulina in there as well, and these are true superfoods that we, again, just don't have. It's just not part of our normal diet here.
Yeah, I'm taking them as we talk, my 2 tablets, the men's 50-plus. You have vitamin D3 also in
Vitamin D3 in the line as well as the one that's in the multis. It's actually a vegan vitamin D3, which is unusual. Normally, vegan forms of vitamin D come from D2, which is you can make D2 if you irradiate certain types of mushrooms, expose them to ultraviolet light. But there's an exception to this in nature, that there's a certain type of lichen. It's like a mossy thing that grows on rocks and trees that will make vitamin D3, which is the same form of vitamin that we make humans when the sun shines on our skin. And so this is a form of D that's available on its own as well as in the multis.
Do you have the Whole Earth and Sea supplements from Natural Factors has an omega-3 fatty acid rendition too, doesn't it?
That I love, yes. This is the herring gold. It is a concentrate of fish eggs, herring eggs. And you may think, ick, when you hear that, but in fact, fish eggs are extremely nutritious and also something that we don't have in our diets here in North America, very common in, say, Scandinavia. And they provide the omega-3s that most people are familiar with and everybody knows are essential foundation for good health. But from the fish eggs, they come in a form, a phospholipid form, that gets into the tissues, especially brain tissue, more efficiently. Love the herring gold.
877-897-8255 is a toll-free number. call that anywhere within the continental U.S. and then 813-636-8255, 813-636-8255 outside the U.S. Ruffino, what supplements do you take every day?
Well, I take a few. I take a multivitamin. I take an omega. I do just depending on curcumin. I do a couple other ones. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to throw out something real quick. I know we're buying time here a little bit, but they also $2 from each box of these vitamins go to what's called seewhatgrows.org. And when Hal was here from Natural Factors, he gave us a book. And you're talking about volunteering earlier, and I just want to say Tracy and I go to all the local libraries and teach kids about nutrition. Reread that book from Natural Factors.
What's it called? What's the title? What's the title of the book? What's the title?
The book is called Plant a Seed. I believe it's called Plant a Seed and See What Grows.
That's right. Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up. It's true, part of the Plant a Seed Foundation. And yes,
and it helps kids. I mean, I'm not meaning